I'm standing in our living room, watching Dad hand Tyler his fifth gift of the night. The Christmas tree sparkles behind us, and the whole family is here. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. Tyler tears open the wrapping paper and pulls out a brand new laptop. Everyone claps. Dad beams with pride, squeezing Tyler's shoulder like he just won the lottery. Then Dad turns to me. My heart lifts for a second. Maybe this year will be different. He reaches under the tree and pulls out a small box wrapped in plain brown paper. No ribbon. No bow. Just brown paper and tape. I take it carefully, feeling how light it is. Too light. I peel back the paper slowly, aware that everyone's watching. Inside is nothing. Just an empty cardboard box. Laughter erupts around me. My cousin Jake snorts so loud he chokes on his eggnog. My face burns. I look up at Dad, confused, but he's smiling. Not a warm smile. A cold one. He leans close and whispers in my ear, "That's what you deserve." My hands shake as I hold the empty box. Dad steps back, still smiling at me like this is some kind of joke. But his eyes are hard. Everyone's staring now, waiting for my reaction. Tyler laughs from across the room. "Guess Santa knows who's been naughty," he says. More laughter follows. Even my Aunt Sarah chuckles nervously. I try to speak, but Dad raises his hand. "Let me explain," he announces to the room. "Cameron here has been ungrateful lately, disrespecting this family. I thought an empty box would teach the right lesson." My stomach twists. Ungrateful? Disrespecting the family? I don't understand. I've worked hard in school, helped at the family business on weekends, never complained about anything. Dad continues, "Maybe next year, when Cameron learns some humility, there'll be something real in that box." He pats my shoulder like he's doing me a favor. Tyler catches my eye and smirks. There's something in that look. Something knowing. Like he understands exactly what's happening, and I'm the only one left in the dark. Dad isn't finished. He gestures toward me and says loudly, "Cameron, why don't you open that box again? Show everyone what's inside. Really show them." My throat tightens. I already opened it. Everyone saw it was empty. But Dad's looking at me with this intense expression, and I realize this is some kind of test. Some kind of performance. I lift the lid again with trembling hands. The box is still empty. Dad's voice drops low and serious. And that's because, effective immediately, Cameron is cut off financially. No more college fund. No more allowance. No more free rides. Gasps ripple through the room. My mom's face goes pale, but she doesn't say anything. She just stares at her plate of cookies like she can't hear what's happening. Tyler shifts in his seat, barely hiding his grin. My Uncle Jim clears his throat awkwardly. Aunt Sarah whispers something to her husband. I feel the walls closing in. Cut off? Why? What did I do? Dad crosses his arms and faces the room like he's making a business presentation. I'll tell everyone why. Cameron stole money from the family business. $20,000, to be exact. My heart stops. The room goes completely silent. I can hear the Christmas music playing softly from the speaker in the corner. My voice cracks when I finally speak. I didn't steal anything. Tyler stands up, shaking his head sadly. Cameron, I already forgave you for it. You don't have to lie anymore. His voice is so smooth, so convincing. Everyone looks at him like he's some kind of saint. Dad nods. Tyler covered for you. He even replaced the money out of his own savings. But I can't let this slide. Theft is theft. I look around the room desperately. My mom won't meet my eyes. My cousins are staring at me like I'm a stranger. Even my grandmother, sitting in the corner, looks disappointed. I didn't do it, I say again, louder this time. But nobody's listening. Tyler gives me this pitying look, like I'm pathetic. Dad points toward the front door. Get out! I want you out of this house tonight. My legs feel frozen. I can't move. This can't be real. This is Christmas. This is my family. Now, Cameron. Dad's voice is ice cold. Aunt Sarah stands up quietly and walks to the coat closet. She pulls out my jacket and hands it to me without a word. Her face is blank, like this was all planned ahead of time. Like everyone knew this was coming except me. I take the jacket with numb fingers. Tyler's already back on his phone, scrolling casually like nothing major just happened. Mom is crying softly into a tissue, but she still won't look at me. I walk toward the door, my vision blurring. When I reach for the handle, Dad speaks one last time. Maybe this will teach you responsibility. I step outside into the freezing December air. The door slams behind me. I stand on the porch, shaking, not from the cold, but from shock. My breath makes clouds in the darkness. I'm sitting on the curb 3 houses down, staring at my phone, when it buzzes. A text from a blocked number lights up the screen. If you want the truth, check Dad's office safe. My heart starts pounding. I read it again. Who sent this? How do they know about the safe? I text back, who is this? 3 dots appear, then disappear. No response. I sit there for 10 minutes, frozen between anger and curiosity. The truth. What is the truth? Everyone inside that house believes I'm a thief. Dad cut me off. Tyler played the hero. And now some stranger is telling me to break into Dad's office? But what choice do I have? I need to know what's really going on. I need proof that I'm not crazy. I stand up, brush the snow off my jeans, and start walking back toward the house. The Christmas lights are still glowing in every window. I can hear faint laughter from inside. They've already moved on. I have my old house key in my pocket. I never gave it back. It's past midnight when I creep back. Every light in the house is off now. I unlock the side door as quietly as possible, wincing when it creaks. My pulse is hammering in my ears. I tiptoe through the kitchen, past the leftover Christmas desserts sitting on the counter. The house smells like cinnamon and pine. Everything looks normal, peaceful. But nothing feels normal anymore. Dad's office is at the end of the hallway. I twist the doorknob slowly and slip inside. Moonlight filters through the blinds, casting stripes across the big mahogany desk. The safe is behind a painting of a lighthouse, Dad's favorite. I lift the frame carefully and punch in the code. My birthday. He never changed it. The safe clicks open. Inside are stacks of folders, some cash, and a metal lockbox. I pull everything out and spread it across the desk. My hands won't stop shaking. I grab the first folder and flip it open. My name is on the first page. Business contracts. Legal documents. I don't understand half of it. I skim through the contracts, trying to make sense of the legal language. Then I see it, a trust fund. A massive trust fund. In my name. The balance makes my stomach flip. Over $2 million. Money from Grandpa's estate, set up years ago. Money I didn't even know existed. I flip to the next page. More accounts. Investment portfolios. Real estate holdings. All under my name. My hands start trembling so badly I almost drop the papers. This is way more than Tyler's laptop. Way more than all his flashy gifts combined. Why didn't Dad tell me about this? Why did he hand me an empty box if I have all this waiting for me? I hear a creak in the hallway and freeze. My breath catches. I wait, but no one comes. Slowly, I turn back to the documents. That's when I found the letter. It's paper-clipped to a board meeting agenda. The letterhead reads, Sullivan and Company, Board of Directors. I unfold it carefully and start reading. My blood turns cold. The letter is typed on company stationery, and it's addressed to the Board of Directors. The subject line reads, Formal accusation of embezzlement. I read it twice to make sure I'm seeing it right. The letter accuses me, Cameron Sullivan, of stealing company funds. It lists dates, amounts, account numbers. Everything looks official. Everything looks damning. But I never touched that money. I barely even have access to the company accounts. I'm just a part-time assistant who files paperwork on weekends. The letter is signed at the bottom in Dad's neat handwriting. But it's the date that makes my chest tighten. 3 months ago. He wrote this 3 months ago, long before tonight's disaster. So this wasn't a sudden decision. This wasn't Dad losing his temper on Christmas. This was planned. Carefully. Coldly. I flip the letter over, and that's when I see it. A second signature at the bottom, labeled Witness. Tyler's name is scrawled there in blue ink. My hand starts shaking so hard the paper rustles loudly in the silent office. I stare at Tyler's signature until my eyes burn. He witnessed this letter. He knew Dad was planning to destroy me. All those times Tyler acted concerned. All those moments he pretended to care. He was in on it from the start. I grab my phone and take pictures of everything. The letter, the contracts, the trust documents. My mind is racing. Why would they do this? What do they gain from framing me? I'm about to close the safe when my phone buzzes. Another blocked number. This time, it's a call. My finger hovers over the screen for a second before I answer. Hello. A woman's voice comes through, calm and professional. Cameron Sullivan? Who is this? My name is Ms. Dalton. I'm a corporate investigator. I think your father framed the wrong child. I almost dropped the phone. My voice comes out as a whisper. How do you know my name? How did you get this number? Meet me tomorrow. 10 a.m. coffee shop on Maple Street. Come alone. She hangs up before I can respond. I barely sleep. I keep replaying everything in my head. The empty box, the laughter, Tyler's smirk, that letter. By morning, I'm exhausted but wired with nervous energy. At 9:45 a.m., I walk into the coffee shop on Maple Street. It's a small place, warm and quiet. A woman in a gray blazer waves me over. She's maybe 40, with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense expression. Cameron. She gestures to the chair across from her. I sit down slowly, unsure if I can trust her. Ms. Dalton slides a folder across the table. I've been investigating your family's company for 6 weeks. Your father hired me to track missing funds. But what I found didn't match his story. I swallow hard. What did you find? She opens the folder and points to a bank statement. Money was moved out of company accounts using Tyler's ID, but it was rerouted through accounts under your name. Someone set you up as the fall guy. My chest tightens. Tyler. She nods. And likely your father. They made it look like you stole the money. But the digital trail leads straight back to Tyler. Ms. Dalton taps another document. Here's the problem. The person moving the money used Tyler's employee credentials, his login, his password, his access codes. But the funds ended up in offshore accounts under your name. I lean forward, trying to understand. So Tyler stole the money and made it look like I did it? Exactly. And your father knew. He had to. He's the one who asked me to investigate, but he gave me false information. He pointed me toward you from the start. My head is spinning. Why? Why would they do this? Ms. Dalton pulls out another paper. It's old, yellowed at the edges. This is your grandfather's will. There's a clause that states the company legally transfers to you when you turn 25. That's in 6 weeks. I stare at her. I'm inheriting the company? Your father and Tyler know. If they can prove you're a thief, if they can get you officially cut off or arrested, the company stays with your father. Or more likely, transfers to Tyler. Everything clicks into place. The empty box. The public humiliation. The accusation. They're trying to destroy me before I can claim what's legally mine. I grip the edge of the table, my knuckles turning white. So this whole thing was about stealing my inheritance? Ms. Dalton nods. Your father's been planning this for months. The accusation letter, the financial cutoff, the public shaming, it's all designed to isolate you and make you look untrustworthy. If the board believes you're a thief, they'll block the transfer. I think about Tyler's smug smile, Dad's cold whisper, Mom's silence. They all knew. They all played their parts. What can I do? I ask, my voice breaking slightly. Ms. Dalton leans back. You fight back. You go public with the truth. The evidence is on your side. She slides her phone across the table. On the screen is an audio file. I recovered this from Tyler's voicemail. Listen. I press play. Tyler's voice fills the small space between us, laughing. I can't believe he actually fell for it. Making it look like Cameron stole everything was easier than I thought. Dad's going to love this. My stomach turns. Hearing him laugh about it makes it real in a way I couldn't fully grasp before. I listened to the recording 3 times. Each time, Tyler's laughter cuts deeper. Ms. Dalton watches me carefully, waiting for my reaction. This is evidence, I finally say. This proves everything. Yes, but you need to be strategic. Your father is hosting a retirement dinner next week. He's planning to announce Tyler as his official successor in front of the entire board. I feel my jaw tighten. He's making it public. Exactly. And that's your opportunity. If you confront them privately, they'll cover it up. But if you reveal the truth in front of the board, investors, and company leadership, they can't hide. My heart starts racing. The idea of walking back into that world, facing Dad and Tyler in front of everyone, terrifies me. But Ms. Dalton is right. This is my only shot. I'll do it, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. Ms. Dalton smiles slightly. Good. I'll be there too. And you won't be alone. She hands me a business card with a name printed on it. Gerald Alvarez, board member. He's been trying to blow the whistle on your father for months. He'll back you up. The next day, I meet Mr. Alvarez at a quiet diner outside of town. He's older, maybe 60, with gray hair and tired eyes. He orders coffee and gets straight to the point. Your father tried to force me to falsify documents, he says bluntly. He wanted me to sign off on fake expense reports to hide the missing money. When I refused, he threatened to remove me from the board. I stare at him, stunned. Why didn't you report him? I did. But your father has allies. Powerful ones. They buried my complaint. He leans forward. But if you speak up now, with evidence, you'll win. The board is already suspicious. They just need someone brave enough to stand up. My hands shake as I sip my water. What if it doesn't work? What if they don't believe me? Mr. Alvarez's expression softens. Cameron, I've seen the evidence Ms. Dalton gathered. Your father and Tyler left a trail. They got arrogant. They thought you'd never fight back. He pauses. Prove them wrong. I nod slowly. For the first time in days, I feel a flicker of hope. The retirement dinner is in 3 days. I spend every moment preparing. Ms. Dalton walks me through the plan. When to speak, what to say, how to present the evidence. Mr. Alvarez coaches me on board politics, telling me which members to watch, who might support me. I practice my speech in front of the mirror until my voice stops shaking. I print copies of every document, bank statements, the accusation letter, Tyler's witness signature, the voicemail transcript. The night before the dinner, I can't sleep. I keep imagining Dad's face when I walk into that room. I keep hearing Tyler's laugh in my head. But I also think about Grandpa. He built that company from nothing. He wanted me to have it. I can't let Dad and Tyler destroy his legacy just because they're greedy. At 6 a.m., I get a text from Ms. Dalton. You ready? I type back, ready. I get dressed in the nicest clothes I own, a suit Grandpa bought me for my high school graduation. It still fits. I look in the mirror and barely recognize myself. I look older, stronger. Tonight, everything changes. The banquet hall is massive, decorated with white lights and tall floral arrangements. I stand outside the double doors, heart pounding, as laughter and music drift out from inside. Ms. Dalton appears beside me, carrying a briefcase. It's time. I nod and push open the doors. The music stops. Conversations die mid-sentence. Every head in the room turns toward me. Dad is standing near the front, microphone in hand, frozen. His face goes pale. Tyler, sitting at the head table, looks like he's seen a ghost. I walk slowly down the center aisle, my footsteps echoing on the marble floor. Mr. Alvarez stands up from his seat and nods at me. A few other board members look confused. Some whisper to each other. Dad finally finds his voice. Cameron, you weren't invited. I stop a few feet from him and look him straight in the eye. I know. But I think everyone here needs to hear what I have to say. Tyler jumps up. Dad, don't let. Sit down, Tyler, Mr. Alvarez says firmly. Tyler hesitates, then sinks back into his chair. I take the microphone from Dad's hand. He's too stunned to resist. I turn to face the crowd. Board members, investors, business partners, family friends. All watching me. My name is Cameron Sullivan, I begin, my voice shaking slightly. And my father accused me of stealing from this company. He cut me off financially. He humiliated me in front of my family. And he did it all to cover up the real thief. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Dad steps toward me. Cameron, this is not the place. I hold up my phone. This is a voicemail from my brother, Tyler. I press play. Tyler's voice booms through the speakers. I can't believe he actually fell for it. Making it look like Cameron stole everything was easier than I thought. Dad's going to love this. The room goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. Tyler's face turns bright red. He stands up, shaking his head frantically. That's fake. Someone edited that. But the crowd isn't buying it. People are whispering, pointing. Dad tries to grab the microphone back, but Mr. Alvarez blocks him. Tyler's voice gets louder, angrier. This is ridiculous. Cameron's lying. Dad, tell them. Dad's face is a mix of panic and fury. He lunges for the sound system, trying to shut it off, but Ms. Dalton steps forward. That recording is real, she says calmly, loud enough for everyone to hear. I'm Ms. Dalton, the investigator your CEO hired. And I have proof that Tyler Sullivan embezzled company funds and framed his sibling. She opens her briefcase and pulls out thick folders. Bank statements, digital timestamps, email trails. Every piece of evidence points to Tyler. Security guards, who were standing quietly by the door, suddenly moved forward. Two of them step toward Tyler. One moves toward Dad. Tyler backs away from the table. You can't do this, Dad. But Dad isn't looking at him. He's staring at the board members, who are now whispering urgently among themselves. Mr. Alvarez stands and addresses the room. I am moving for an emergency vote to remove Richard Sullivan as CEO, effective immediately. Several board members nod. Someone seconds the motion. Ms. Dalton spreads the documents across the nearest table. Board members crowd around, flipping through pages. I watch their faces shift from confusion to shock to anger. One woman, Mrs. Park, holds up a bank statement. These transactions are all under Tyler's credentials. Why were we told Cameron was responsible? Mr. Alvarez answers, because Richard Sullivan lied. He tried to force me to falsify records to support his story. I refused, and he attempted to silence me. Another board member, Mr. Chen, turns to Dad. Is this true, Richard? Dad's face is red now, his jaw clenched. This is a setup. Cameron is trying to manipulate you all. With evidence? Mrs. Park snaps. With recordings and bank statements? You asked Ms. Dalton to investigate, and she found your son guilty. Not Cameron. Tyler tries to leave, but the security guards block his path. His confidence has completely crumbled. He looks at Dad desperately, but Dad won't meet his eyes. Ms. Dalton hands another document to Mr. Alvarez. There's more. Richard knew about the embezzlement and helped cover it up. He's complicit. Two police officers enter the room quietly. I didn't know they'd be here, but Ms. Dalton must have called them. They walk straight toward Tyler. Tyler Sullivan, one officer says. Tyler's voice cracks. This is insane. I didn't. You're under arrest for embezzlement and fraud. The officer pulls out handcuffs. Tyler's face goes white. He doesn't resist as they cuff his hands behind his back. The second officer approaches Dad. Richard Sullivan, you're also being detained for questioning regarding financial fraud and obstruction of justice. Dad finally explodes. You can't do this. I built this company. Sir, please don't make this harder, the officer says calmly. They lead both of them toward the exit. The entire room watches in stunned silence. My family is scattered throughout the crowd. My mom is crying, her hands over her mouth. Aunt Sarah looks horrified. My cousins are frozen in their seats. As Dad passes me, he stops and looks me in the eye. For the first time tonight, he looks small, defeated. But he doesn't apologize. He just looks away and keeps walking. After they're gone, Mr. Alvarez stands and addresses the room. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the disruption. But the truth had to come out. He turns to me. Cameron, your grandfather's will clearly states that upon your 25th birthday, controlling interest in this company transfers to you. Given tonight's revelations, I believe the board should honor that immediately. Mrs. Park nods. I agree. Cameron has been wronged. The company legally belongs to them. Another board member stands. All in favor? Hands go up around the room. It's unanimous. Mr. Alvarez extends his hand to me. Welcome, Cameron. You're now the rightful owner of Sullivan and Company. I shake his hand, feeling like I'm in a dream. A few people clap. Others just stare, still processing everything. Ms. Dalton smiles at me from across the room. My mom rushes over, tears streaming down her face. Cameron, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I look at her, and for a moment, I feel the anger rising. But she's broken, crying, lost. My mom grabs my hands. Please. You have to help them. You have to drop the charges. They're still family. I pull my hands away gently. They framed me, Mom. They tried to steal my future. But they're your father and brother, she sobs. Please. We can fix this. We can be a family again. I look around the room. My aunt is watching. My cousins are watching. Even the board members are watching, waiting to see what I'll do. Dad's voice echoes in my head. That's what you deserve. I take a deep breath. No, Mom. I'm not fixing this. They made their choices. Now they deal with the consequences. She stares at me like I'm a stranger. How can you be so cold? I'm not cold, I say quietly. I'm just done being the one who gets hurt. I turn and walk toward the exit. Mr. Alvarez follows me. You made the right call, he says. I nod, but inside, my chest aches. This isn't the happy ending I imagined. It's just the truth. Raw and painful. The next few weeks are a blur. The police investigation unfolds publicly. Tyler pleads guilty to embezzlement. Dad is charged as an accomplice. The media picks up the story, family business torn apart by greed. I avoid the headlines as much as possible. Instead, I focus on learning about the company. Mr. Alvarez mentors me, walking me through board meetings, contracts, and strategy sessions. It's overwhelming, but I'm determined to honor Grandpa's legacy. One evening, I got a letter in the mail. It's from Dad. I almost throw it away, but something makes me open it. Cameron, I'm sorry. I let greed cloud my judgment. I thought I was protecting the company, but I see now I was only protecting my pride. Tyler is paying for his mistakes, and so am I. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I failed you as a father. I read it twice, then fold it carefully and put it in a drawer. Maybe one day I'll respond. But not today. 3 months later, I'm sitting in my new office, Grandpa's old office. The room still smells like his cologne. His favorite books line the shelves. There's a knock on the door. Ms. Dalton walks in, holding a small wrapped box. I thought you might want this, she says, handing it to me. I unwrap it slowly. Inside is the same empty box Dad gave me on Christmas. But now it's filled with documents, official paperwork naming me CEO, signed by every board member. I stare at it, a lump forming in my throat. Ms. Dalton smiles. The same box they used to break you is now proof you rose anyway. I run my fingers over the papers, thinking about that terrible Christmas night. The laughter. The humiliation. The empty box. But it's not empty anymore. It's full of everything I fought for. Everything I earned. I look up at Ms. Dalton. Thank you. For everything. She nods. You did this, Cameron. Not me. I close the box gently and set it on the shelf next to Grandpa's photo. It belongs there now, a reminder that even when people try to break you, you can choose to rise. And I did.